morning, everyone. Feliz Navidad. It is the season. Good morning and welcome to the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sally Wantz and it's my pleasure to be here with you today. We're going to start our service as we do most weeks with singing Spirit of Life. It's number 123 in the hymnal, and we're going to follow along with Jeff Lovejoy's rendition. He did a beautiful recording several months ago, so I'm going to ask Ray if he would please play Jeff Lovejoy as we sing along Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Technical difficulties, but we prevail, right? Yes. Good. Thank you, everybody. Let's move on to announcements. Thank you, Jeff, for your music. Sorry it stopped halfway, but it's COVID. I'm blaming it on the pandemic, okay? So a reminder, our Zoom happy hour begins at 5 p.m. today with Deborah Jordan as our host, and we expect Reverend Elizabeth to join us as well. And one thing I want to know, if you're new to Zoom, if you don't even know what the word Zoom means, if you're afraid to get into your computer and find out, send us an email. Someone will call you, we will walk you through the process and get you hooked up so you can go with us virtually on Sundays at 5, okay? Don't be afraid, it's new technology, it won't hurt you. So give us a call or send us an email and we'll be glad to help you. There still may be room to enroll in NIN's Evocation for Planetary Harmony, which will be on December 22nd. Don't wait. There's an email in the e-blast. Write to NIN, let her know you want to be a part, and she will send you the link for that, okay? Also, Rosemary Alden is teaching 2 classes at LCC. One is on nonviolent communication, and the other is entitled More Health is in Your Hands. So contact Rosemary if you'd like to be a part of one or both of those classes. And if you have a special announcement you'd like to share, send us an email, florence.unitarian@gmail.com, and we'll get it added to the e-blast. So next Sunday, I'm going to bring Catherine up here in a minute, but we have our annual Burning Bowls ceremony. So I'm going to invite Catherine to come on up and tell us about what that means. Good morning.
Good morning.
I can do this here without steaming it up. I would like to invite you to join me next week for our yearly Burning Bowl ceremony. Yes. Each year we take time for a ritual of letting go of whatever did not serve us, whatever we have outgrown this last year. January 1st is not some magical date that's going to set all things right. However, we are helped by aligning our personal intention with the ever-present creative life force that lives in and around us. Empowerment suits us. Teaming up with the universe lights our fire, so to speak. But first, let's clean out the psychic closet. Take a few minutes this week to sit in quiet contemplation. Feel in your heart the things you may not be able to say out loud, or the things you say over and over and over till you're sick of them and nothing seems to change. Let the words come from the cave of your heart, as the mystics call it. Anything you can no longer live with. Now write them down. You have a choice how to do it this year. I will lead you through the ritual at next week's service. You can be home with a bowl made of some fireproof material, metal probably, or your fireplace or your wood-burning stove. Small strips of paper with each thing on it. Better to have small strips than a whole list, keeps the fire hazard down, and we will burn them together.
No fire extinguisher needed?
Right. Or, I will be at the church or maybe outside with the big burning bowl between noon and 1 o'clock. You can drive by, hand the list to me, and I will burn it in the collective fire. Kind of a drive-by burning bowl. Interesting times call for interesting solutions. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Remember your glasses.
Oh, when you said let go of those things that no longer suit you or fit you, I thought, well, my blue jeans don't fit anymore. Can I burn them? Okay, fine. Probably not. So thank you. Does anybody here have any announcements other than what we've just shared? Anything I've forgotten? Okay. So now I invite you to listen to a special announcement from Reverend Elizabeth regarding their Soul Matters Sharing Circle. It's a small group ministry that they will offer each month beginning in January. This message will also be followed by Reverend Elizabeth lighting our chalice while you light yours at home.
Hello, dear friends and members of the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Elizabeth Mount, and I am your new minister. One of the things that I do as part of my ministry is, of course, tea time with the minister. You can come, have a mug of tea, and just join us for conversation and fellowship when you have the time. It happens 3 times a month, and you can see the times and dates in your newsletter. But I wanted to offer you a second opportunity as well for fellowship, because sometimes all you need is a cup of tea and a bit of a social time. But there are times when we want to go deeper, to learn more, and to share from the heart in ways that feel more vulnerable and more full. And so I'm opening a monthly reflection group in the new year. It's called Soul Matters, and it's part of a national programming set that takes a theme each month and encourages us to try out a spiritual practice, reading poetry, journaling, hiking or going out into nature, creating art, or something different. And then to come back with what we have learned, to reflect and meditate with one another on the commonalities and differences of our experience. If you're interested, our first session will be January 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Please just email me at revelizabethmount@gmail.com or contact the Florence Unitarian Fellowship at florence.unitarian@gmail.com, and I'll send you the packet and the Zoom link for this coming month. And then we'll be doing this on the 4th Saturday of each month into the future. So I hope to see you then. But even if you don't make it in January, come on February 27th or March 27th, and we'll see you then. Be well and be whole. Blessed be. Our chalice lighting words are by Robin Tanner and by myself. Robin Tanner writes, "Abide with me, gracious one. Open my awareness to the cool breeze, the hour of sleep, the stillness in the midst of the storm." Blessed One, be with me, be with us. Stay near as the winds of change buffet us, to warm our souls with the fire of your spirit. O Spirit of life and of love, you who are with us in all the movement of our lives, bring us now to stillness in the moment when we light our chalice flame.
Good morning, everyone. This is our part of the ceremony for joys and concerns. We do this to remember each other, our unity, our love for each other, our caring, especially right now when we can't gather here in the church. It's especially important to stay in touch with each other, to pray for each other. I have a couple today. Darlene Norwood. She's our secretary of our board and a beloved member, and she is recovering from the flu, not COVID. The flu. How would you welcome the flu, you know?
Hallelujah.
Yes, right. So, Darlene, I know you're getting better, so I just want to let everyone know. One shell for her.
One shell for Darlene. Darlene.
I have a concern, always a shell for Bruce, so we're going to put one in.
I'm going to put the prettiest one I've got for
Great.
you, Bruce, the prettiest one.
But Ann Lathrop has talked to his wife, Kathy, and she reports that he is very weak, tired, and not eating much. You know, it's hard sometimes to let go of that life force, and Bruce, you have a tremendous life force, even though I know what your journey is about, letting go and having the death with dignity. But your life force is so strong, and I love you. We all love you.
Love you, Bruce.
Let's see, well, two things about caregiving. First, Rayma Davis, she would really like 3 days a week in-house, coming to her home for caregiving. It's for her and her husband, actually. Her husband mostly, and for Obi. Her number is 541-680-1885, and Sally is going to put that in the blast as well. And so maybe we can find someone that will, to fit, a perfect fit, let's say that. And another thing about caregiving, Janet Vincent, she is looking for an in-house caregiving full-time. And again, it has to be the good fit between one person and another. And so, let's put it out there. Someone knows someone that it's going to match up. And I finally have a joy that this holiday season is here, and so far no one that I know of in this congregation has COVID. And I think that shows our caring and respect for each other in the caution that we enact with each other, around each other. Or maybe it's just that we're lucky for whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm happy for that. Thank you.
Catherine, can I drop a couple of shells?
Absolutely. Oh,
One for Obi and Rayma, one for Janet, and a really big, pretty one for all of us at FOOF and all of our followers. Let's keep being safe, okay? I invite Catherine to join me in a very special reading this morning. It's titled Blessing in the Chaos by Jan Richardson from paintedprayerbook.com. That's quite apropos because we're having a few snafus with our sound system. So Catherine is going to read. Won't be able to see her right now, but she's going to be reading from a distance. Are you ready, Catherine?
I am.
Okay. So, to all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence.
Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you.
The voices that have made their home in you, that go with you even to the holy places, but will not let you rest.
Will not let you hear your life with wholeness or feel the grace that fashioned you.
Let what distracts you cease.
Let what divides you cease.
Let there come an end to what diminishes and demeans.
And let depart all that keeps you in its cage.
Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible.
And see what shimmers within the storm.
See what shimmers within the storm. That's just lovely. So before Reverend Elizabeth shares her message today, titled The Center of the Hurricane, we're going to share a lovely musical interlude titled Hush. The words are inspired by an African-American spiritual. Enjoy the music and Reverend Elizabeth's message.
A hush, a breath, a stilling, readiness, awaiting hope. There is a moment in every storm, in every time of turmoil, where a pause might open up, perhaps a time of spaciousness, a time to wonder, what shall I do? Hush, hush. What is calling you out of the stillness? Is it a time to think of new and creative things? Is it a time to breathe, to meditate upon the stillness itself? Or a time for gathering up in readiness for what is yet to come? The eye of the hurricane is not the end of a storm, not the end of our troubles, but a time, a moment of ease in the suffering. And in that central moment, The gift it brings is the knowledge that we are ready because we know what was and we know we can withstand what is to come. That halfway there is enough. December is the midpoint of a church year. December is when we celebrate festivals of light, knowing that it is the turning point when the world goes from darkness, closing in and encroaching, to that breath. There is still winter yet to come, and yet we know we shall get through it, and the light will come again in this cycle. Many years, it is easy not to notice, easy to be caught up in the glow and the bustle of the season, in the decorating, the parties, all that there is to do. This year we are caught in a world that has enclosed itself in small bubbles. A world where there are storms outside, viruses and fear battering at the walls and the windows. And yet, in that stillness, there is a gift, like the prayerful attention at the lighting of a Hanukkah candle, as the silent shepherds in adoration around a baby's cradle that first Christmas night. The stillness of the waiting time. The stillness of the dark, not fearful, but welcome. A time to rest. A time to pause. So it is in life. Whether national events or your own small and everyday things are troubling you, sometimes we struggle. Sometimes we are frightened. Sometimes finding what looks like justice and freedom feels so far away. When I was just 24, Hurricane Katrina swept through the Gulf Coast, hitting New Orleans, Mississippi, leveling buildings in its path. That storm made such a massive impact on the environment of the area, on the people, on the ways that the population has flowed and shifted in all the years since. And it made an impression in my life. I found that going down to help and to be educated about what had happened in New Orleans and in Biloxi, Mississippi, changed the trajectory of my life. I went down thinking I would help, and instead I learned that the disaster wasn't the wind, wasn't the rain, wasn't the high tides washing toxic chemicals back into the Gulf and polluting people's food sources. Well, that was the beginning of it. The real disaster was the human one, the lack of caring, the ways in which large businesses exploited government assistance at the expense of everyday folks. It didn't have to be like that. But the first half of the hurricane was Katrina. The second half was all of that opportunism. We can build a new way. We don't have to be people who scramble and fight against one another. If you are here in this congregation, you are already here because you are committed to a life in which it matters that we love. It matters that we care. It matters that we show compassion, that we find our inner peace, that we spread what good we find generously with the world. It was seeing people pick themselves up and change their own world that changed me in Katrina. It was going there ready to hear of the tragedy of a family whose home had no roof but a blue tarp, and instead having them offer me ice cream as if I were the one in need of something. It was going to a shotgun house and saying, "How can we help?" And having a woman tell us, "Oh no, I'll get on like I always have here, but across the street, they're in worse shape. You should help them. I'll go introduce you." People making sure that each other, every one of them, got the help that they needed. Not taking first dibs, but caring, holding together a community, reweaving the threads of that network to hold one another. I loved it. I've been part of disaster relief work for 3 more hurricanes since then. In Houston, I met a woman who taught me how to play spades while we were helping in a shelter. For days, the Red Cross had us stationed there each morning, ready to make sure that people could get showers and food, cleaning supplies for when they did get back to their homes. And this woman would say, "Sit down a while, play some cards. There's nothing more important that can get done today." And you know, she was right. Making sure that we had something to enjoy, that they had something to enjoy and to capture one another's intention and to build community, it made a difference. And then I saw her again, this time in South Carolina, after yet another hurricane. She had joined the Red Cross and she was doing disaster relief. She said, "Well, y'all were just so nice when my house was flooded. I thought I'd better pay it forward." And she did. She did in spades. No joke. I bet she's still there at every disaster. You know, teaching people to play cards, dealing out one more round, giving us something to look forward to until the next gale force wind hits. That's who we are. That's who I want to be. A person who makes sure that when there is time to breathe and to savor a moment of stillness, that we do so. Just breathe and hear the hush. Breathe and know that in a pandemic, in a hurricane, in any kind of troubled time, if you breathe, you know that on that next breath, you can do it again because you already have. In the eye of a hurricane, there is silence. And you know you're halfway through. In the church year, in this pandemic, as we await a vaccine, even in this holiday season, we're gonna get through. It is the solstice. It is dark now, and soon the light will return. And that balance point, well, it's worth savoring. So blessed be. May you find the stillness of the season. May you notice the beautiful, beloved community being rewoven together in the moments we reach out, in the moments when we reconnect, and when we are still. May we be at peace and know that we are part of a greater whole, resilient and ready. Amen. And blessed be.
Thank you, Reverend Elizabeth. You've created a lovely service for us today. We hope you'll be with us on Zoom at 5 o'clock, and we get to talk about your message and anything else that's coming up this holiday season. So I offer you, well, some words on the offering. We have a basket. When we're here in person, we used to pass this basket around and ask that you consider a contribution to this fellowship as well as our community partner. So this is the virtual basket for you to be thinking about at home as well. We have an opportunity for you to make your pledge payment of support or contribution to FOOF, as well as consideration to Habitat for Humanity for their endeavors through this particular month. We have 2 months of giving to community partners such as Habitat. So you can make your payment by visiting our website. There's a donate button. You can mail a check to us at P.O. Box 2502, Florence 97439. And either way, you can designate how much to go to Habitat and how much to go to FOOF, and we'll take care of the distribution. So as we move forward in our offertory here at FOOF, and maybe you at home could repeat after me. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
All that I give.
All that I give.
And all that I receive.
And all that I receive.
I am prosperous now.
I am prosperous now.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thank you for those words. A long time ago, Catherine, you provided those to me, and I really appreciate that. Please know your contributions will be received in grateful appreciation. Reverend Elizabeth now shares closing words titled, A Blessing of Darkness.
Amy Zucker Morgenstern writes, "Blessed is the dark in which our dreams stir and are revealed. Blessed is the dark of earth where seeds come to life. Blessed are the depths of the ocean where no light shimmers, the womb of all earthly life. Blessed is the light into which we awake, the light that sparkles on the waters and calls the tree forth from the seed and calls the shadow forth from the tree. Blessed are we as we move through darkness and through light."
I invite you at home to extinguish the flame of your candle as Catherine extinguished the flame in ours. In this, she's shaking the candle. I'm just like, whoa. I share these words from Reverend Elizabeth. In this moment, in the darkness of the solstice, as we extinguish the light of our chalice flame, may we recall the light which is precious and carry it forth in our hearts as the blessings of the season. So we've come to the end of our Sunday service, and today we're going to end with a very special song made popular by Bing Crosby, commonly known as White Christmas. Tuvia's got his guitar, and we invite everybody who's here today. We're going to be singing a farewell White Christmas to all of you at home. Tuvia, you want to come forward? Whoever wants to come up and sing White Christmas? So blessings to everybody. Have a wonderful holiday. We'll see you at Zoom call at 5 o'clock. Take it away, Tuvia.
And can we also add that this song was written by Irving Berlin, who was a Jewish composer.
Nice Jewish boy. We love Irving Berlin.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. May your days be merry and bright, and may